Okay, so today I want to talk about my hair and I want to do my hair. So we're going to do kind of both. So um, last night I did straighten my hair for the very first time since my senior year of high school, I believe. I think it's been like over 13 years, almost 14 years, at least 13 and a half years. And I did straighten it, and I did brush it earlier, but I straightened it last night, not today, and I put it in a braid overnight. So that, and whenever I did straighten it, I was afraid to do slow passes, and I feel like I did my went too quickly. I feel like I probably could have gone a little bit slower. So I think next time I'm gonna try, cause doing a slower pass at 330, cause I did it at 330 degrees Fahrenheit. Um, and my straightener, it has like preset temperature settings for you. You can't necessarily, you can change the heat, but you can't control the exact temperature it's set at. I've got it's the Revlon, what the fuck is it called? Revlon Easy Heat, the 1-inch precision flat iron is what I have. And it has these different heat settings, and it's like 330, 370. I forget the others, honestly. I feel like it's like, or something like that. But there's one lower, so you can do, there's like one that's slightly lower, you can refresh. And then there's the 330 one, and then it's 370. The highest one I think is like right at 450, and there's one between 370 and 450. I think it's 400 on there if I'm not mistaken, but whatever. So I'm thinking about trying my hair at 370 next time to see if that gets it straighter. But I did it at 330, and then I put it in a French braid overnight. And I feel like I can't get my hair also straight in the middle part because for some reason I have one of those scalps that moves whenever you try to part it. So that makes my hair a bit harder to get the part right sometimes. But also because of my hair loss, it can be quite difficult for me to part this particular section because these strands are more sensitive. Like on the side part, I can redo my part as many times as I need on either side, and my head does not feel any sort of way. But in my middle part, the strands are more delicate, and you can feel the sensitivity in your follicle. You know what I mean? So like, I don't try parting my middle part as much. I am kind of like, you know what? Is it relatively straight? Fuck it. My middle part is often more of a schmiddle. It's just what I'm working with. I'm hoping that as my hair grows back, which I'll get to the hair regrowth from where it was to where it is right now in a second. But I'm hoping that as my hair is growing back, if I can get it to grow back more, that will get better over time, hopefully. So we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I had tried straightening my hair. Because I forgot to do video, or I forgot to document it though as I was doing it. And I woke up this morning and I was like, damn, I probably should have done a video of me straightening my hair. But the one thing that I think I did wrong is I used to always do my heat protectant, and I sprayed my heat protectant everywhere, and then I would wait for it to dry before I would flat iron, is what I always did no matter what. But like the back of this bottle, it said to straighten immediately or some shit like that on the back of the bottle that I used. And I had, you did the Garnier Fructis Flat Iron Perfector Straightening Mist and after flat ironing thing. And I feel kind of gaslit just saying that like off the top of my head that it says use immediately, so I might go get the fucking bottle and show you. But anyway, yeah, so it said to use immediately, and I didn't wait. I feel like I should have just waited a little bit longer to make sure that my hair, because otherwise, other than that, my hair was completely dry because it had been like 3 or 4 hours since I showered, so my hair was completely dry, besides the fact that I had put that heat protection on. And it didn't make my hair like wet, but it did add a little dampness to it that, you know, it wasn't necessarily 100% dry anymore. Once I sprayed that heat protectant on, and I did go directly in flat iron, and I feel like it's lucky that I was at a low temp, because if I had gone higher, I could have fucked up my hair probably doing that. I feel like you should wait. You should wait, let it dry a little bit, and then go, like, make sure your hair feels completely dry, and then flat iron. But I don't think I damaged my hair. It still seems to have shine. It still seems to have normal color and normal feel. I did put a bunch of oil in my hair last night. So, you know, it just kind of came out of the bottle. I accidentally poured too much out. Then I was like, well, fuck it. I'm not wasting it. And I just put it all up in there. So my hair is a little bit oilier than I'd like. But besides that, I don't notice any texture changes or anything like that. And so fucking, you know, and I feel like my ends, I already need to get a trim because I'm sitting at 4 months right now-ish, basically, since my last trim. So I needed to go get one. I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna wait till after Halloween, but now I need to actually book it, but whatever. I'm gonna get to that. So I don't notice any other damage to my ends right now beyond the fact that I already needed to trim my hair. So yeah. So I feel good about not having damaged my hair, but that is a major concern of mine that I could have fucked my hair up if I had had my flat iron higher, or, you know, things of that nature. So just warning to everybody, like, obviously it sounds obvious, but when you're not thinking and you're just like, well, let me see, let me follow, when you might take the instructions a little too literally, like me, because you're just like, well, maybe I'm like, because I was gonna do, like, wait for it to dry, but then I was like, well, I'm not the one that knows what I'm doing, the product maker is. So if they say flat iron immediately, should I flat iron immediately? Like, that's where my head went, and I did, but now I regret that. I feel like I should just wait. I don't know, you know what I mean, if that makes sense. Yeah, because I also know different people's hair dries at different rates. So some people, your hair might already be dried then. Okay, now I'm going in a circle and rambling. All right, so here's what we're gonna fucking do. I'm going to talk a little bit about my hair loss journey. Show you guys my balding picture from a couple years ago to almost 3 years ago now. We'll go over some changes to my hair journal and updates to that. And then the rest of the live stream, I'm going to just kind of be talking to you guys about everything while I roll up my hair into some soft curls and waves using some foam rollers and from Conair. And I've got some mousse from Tresemme, the Flawless Curl shit. And I'm going to use the Tresemme, the fuck, why can't I read today? It says 2 spray extra hold or whatever, but it's like the hairspray, I don't know. But yeah, this shit. So, yeah, I'm gonna do my hair. Alright, let's run my intro and then let's do this thing. I might go fucking grab that goddamn heat protectant hood up. Alrighty. Hi, my name is Alexis, also known as Lexi or Deaf Child. I was born deaf, hard of hearing. I began doing business as Deaf Child 2013, marketing 2011, sales 2009. I've earned 50 plus certifications in marketing and sales. My Bachelor of Science from Loyola University, New Orleans, with a music industry studies major and a business administration minor. Deafness runs in my family genetically. Speech is not fully accessible to me. Anyway, I'm here to bitch about whatever the fuck is on my mind. So here we go. Visit my site at noladeafchild.com. Okay, so I did go get the bottle. So I usually I use the Tresemme heat protectant, like the 450 heat protectant shit. That's what I've used my whole life. But I decided for the first time to try this Garnier Fructis Flat Iron Perfector Straightening Mist. And I will say, you know, I do believe that it definitely works in terms of, theoretically, if you flat iron your hair while it's moist of any form, even if it is with a heat protection, theoretically you're not supposed to do that, and it should burn your hair. But I did do that with this, and it hurt. So, yay. I don't know. But anyway, I don't think I will do that again, though. I think I will wait for it to dry next time just to see. But on the directions of this, I don't even know if you can see it. Is it focusing? Can you see that? But on the directions, it says spray it on dry hair and immediately flat iron. And so I may have taken that a little too literally, and this is the shit I used. Usually I use Tresemme, but I decided to try this. So I took that a little too literally, and I immediately flat ironed this after spraying without, now my camera doesn't know where to focus because I focused on this. Hold up, let me try this. Okay, that didn't work. Whatever, maybe it'll come back. Oh well, if this is out of focus the rest of the stream, that was my bad. But anyway, so I didn't know, this doesn't want to focus though. Do I just get like real close? Oh, did that work? No, it didn't. I don't know. Anyway, okay, sorry. Yeah, but it doesn't look like my hair is burnt. And at the beginning of this stream, we already talked about what I think I could have done to get my hair straighter the first time around. But yeah, it was straighter to begin with. I just went to sleep with my hair in a braid because, you know, whatever, fuck it. Alright, so now moving on, I want to show you guys, though, how my hair has changed from balding to now. But my camera doesn't seem to want to work out for me today. How am I going to do a hair video with an unfocused hair to show you? But whatever, fuck it. You know, you still get the point. You'll get the point. So before I get to the spreadsheet, let's talk about my balding ass. So this was spring of 2023 is what's pictured right here. And now we are here, so you can see the difference. Can you see my head? You can kind of see the difference here in that regrowth. You know what I'm saying? So you can see how my hair went from 2023 to now. And I didn't even notice I was balding, to be honest, at first, because who the fuck is looking at the top of your head? And the reason I didn't notice also is I always had my hair in the same side part. I kept my hair, and that was one of the main reasons. I believe I was balding for 2 reasons, and everybody has different reasons they are balding, and part of fixing it for yourself is identifying those causes. But for me, I believe I mostly have traction alopecia because I had my hair parted on this left side, but all of the weight of it was over here, you know, for years and years and years. I had my hair over here. And if you go look at my length journey, you will see that. I'm gonna go ahead. So we see here the difference in my hair growth. Like it is still thin, but it is definitely also noticeably thicker. So there is still a lot of thinness here, but in my opinion, it's definitely noticeably thicker for me. I'm very excited and happy about the progress. You can, you know, and it's like to a point, I feel like anytime you're bald, you have a certain level of insecurity about your baldiness, particularly when you first start experiencing it. But I don't even want to look at it anymore. So y'all see the proof of it, but we're going to stop looking at it now. So, you know. So I feel like there's always, for any person, a degree whenever you're balding. Like, why the fuck is my camera doing this, though? It's, like, really bothering me. I'm going to try wiping it. There's, like, always a degree, though, of insecurity. Let's see. Now I kind of want to try wiping it. Alright, I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to see if I can get my fucking camera to clear up real quick, because this is, like, really bothering me, but hopefully this will be just a second. Hold on, be right back. wiping down my camera, and I don't even understand how the fuck it got dirty or something, if that's what happened. I don't know. But whatever. So, yeah. I forgot what the fuck I was saying. I don't even give a shit. I'm just glad my camera is working. So, I had already brushed my hair today. I don't feel the need to brush it too much. My hair tangles very, very easily. I'm going to start rolling up my hair while I talk to you guys about it. For the most part, I'm going to be using these, I think they're like maybe an inch or so, rollers, the bigger rollers of the mixed assortment that I have, and I'll be also using the smallest, largest size, I meant to say, not the smallest. The smallest one will be the next largest. Whatever. Because I just want something that's not too much tension and that will be relatively easy to pull out. And I'm just going to do a little bit of mousse. Sometimes if I need extra hold, I will straight up put mousse on each section as before I roll it up. But sometimes if I just want a little bit of hold, and I don't really care how long it lasts, I'm just doing it to have fun, or for the day, or if I might brush it out later, I'll just do like whatever the fuck, how much mousse comes out over my whole head, and then roll it all up, which is what I'm about to do now. So, yeah. My hair loss journey, though, I'm actually really proud of how far it's come. And I'm going to talk to you about how I grew out my hair. But first step was identifying the cause of it. For me, I believe I mostly had traction alopecia because I kept my hair in the same part from when I was, I think in like 6th or 7th grade, I was still keeping it around the middle part. Like I just never parted my hair at all, and so it stayed kind of in the middle. But then I feel like it was either 7th or 8th grade, somewhere, I think starting around 8th grade if I'm not mistaken, is when I started doing like the emo mullet with the side part. You know what I'm saying? And I kept that side part. I was doing that. I believe I was doing the side part situation, and my parts here are not going to be perfect. I don't even care about that. So I understand how bad that looks. Let's just close your good eye, all right? This might be too much hair for the roller size, though. I forgot what the fuck I was saying. Anyway, oh yeah. I think my part was the reason that I was having the issues that I was having. And you could choose one or two ways. Some people would go back, and then some people would go forward. You can choose different ways of how you're going to do your hair. If I want more volume, though, I think I might go forward. And I don't know shit about doing hair, so I would take any advice from someone that actually knows how to do it. Y'all are watching me in my learning journey, not in a teaching capacity, if that makes sense. I'm just telling you what worked for me. I'm not telling you to do or not do anything. I think everybody needs to seek medical attention if they can when they notice hair loss, but not everybody can do that. And my hair is so thin, it can be hard for me to decide where exactly am I going to do a section, but whatever. If that makes sense. I'm going to do a mix of small, little. So yeah, apologies, I'm a little I don't know, everybody likes to put labels on me about my mental health. I think I'm autistic and ADHD, but then when I say that, people tell me, some of my friends, you know, who identify as such as well, they're like, yeah, bitch, you're autistic and ADHD. But then neurotypicals typically are like, no, you have bipolar, you're borderline, or you're delusional. Like, they put these other labels on me, you know? So, I guess different people think I'm different things. But for me, other labels don't fit me. But I don't really believe in our current mental health system. Okay. So, speaking of mental health, though, I believe another reason that I've lost my hair is pulling out my hair when I'm stressed. The trickle tickle mania. I call it the trickle tickle. But people, whenever you do experience those types of impulse or self-harm issues, I feel like in society you kind of get made to feel like you're a bit crazy. But it's actually a lot more common than you would think, where people do have these issues. And when you're around other people who struggle with it too, that's for me how you can start understanding the reasons you struggle with self-harm in order to know when to remove yourself from certain situations, you know. But also a lot of times people will be telling me things like, just to stop or whatever, and that doesn't really help because it's an impulse control issue. But we're being able to find other things to focus on that I enjoy doing, such as my hair or whatever is needed for self-care, like a bubble bath or some shit. You know, those are the things that help me actually stop self-harming when I'm struggling with those types of issues, because it's like the same way that I'm an alcoholic, telling me not to drink doesn't help me with not drinking or make me not want to drink or help those impulses, but finding other things for myself to do and keeping myself occupied is what helps me not drink. And so I've kind of become a workaholic, if that makes sense. But with my hair loss, also, I think stress, because whenever I struggle with my impulse control, my mental health, and self-harm, it has a lot to do with stress. And sometimes you can't always remove yourself from stressful situations. A lot of people are like, just get out of the stressful situation. Are you fucking kidding me? If I could, I would, bitch. But, so a lot of people who don't understand can't help you because they tell you stupid shit. But I think once you've gone through it, and you process it, that's when you kind of start being able to better manage situations. And that's why I think we should talk about it, because if it wasn't taboo to talk about it, then people who have already struggled and learned lessons could help the younger generation not go through what we went through. But instead, I feel like we live in a world with two types of mentalities. Either some people, they're like, I struggled, so you have to have a hard life. Or we have the people who are like, I struggled, so I don't want you to struggle, But for me, my balding really is tied to my mental health journey. I think a lot of it was because I fucking didn't change my hair part. And I think that's why I see my hair loss concentrated in specific areas. But then on another level, I think a lot of it is because I had stress and I have these mental health issues. But also, I don't think a lot of us necessarily, it's not even that we have, like, if you think about yourself as a child versus yourself now, I don't think a lot of us It's not even that we have like mental health issues which prevent us from functioning or something, but it's like we live in a society where our minds aren't able to process why things are the way they are because of how fucked up they are. And honestly, I feel like everyone I know that's labeled as mentally unwell, it's often people who just don't accept this society for what it is and want to change it. It's oftentimes it's not even someone that's like a danger to others. It's more of someone who is a threat to an institutionalized system upholding colonialism. You know what I'm saying? And then with people who actually do need mental health help because they are a threat to others, they get criminalized and they never. I mean, some of them do end up in certain situations where they are able to process and move forward and do better, but our mental health system and our criminal justice system, it's not about rehabilitation, it's about profit, in my opinion. And profit is placed before human condition. And I just feel like we don't live in a system where people can properly get help from the places they're supposed to be able to get help from, you know? I think I'm gonna see if I can try getting the rest of my hair in these big rollers and then just fuck it doing the tiny rollers with anything I can't get. It's also weirder doing this in the reflection of this thing. So I also have a hair spreadsheet, you guys. I'm gonna show that to you real quick. So in my hair journey, documenting everything that I was doing to my hair, I think is a big part of how I was able to start retaining length. And understanding what was impacting my hair with how I did it. I recently changed the way I'm documenting things in my hair journal. So before November this year, I was previously kind of combining my documentation of leave-ins and oils and things of that nature. And now I've kind of separated it all between stylers and leave-ins and creams that do have hold and the ones that do not have hold. So that's kind of the major update there. Logging that. I don't know. Because that's just helping me. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep journaling my products in my hair because it is data entry and it is kind of work. But for now, I find it very helpful for me to understand how to recreate specific looks again and how to how my hair is responding, you know, being able to look back and see how my hair is responding to certain things I'm doing to it. And speaking of, the next thing I want to test, and I'm going to add links in the description or the comments because I forgot to do that, is I've been trying to look into more how should my hair type, low density, I mean not low, well yeah, it is low density, fine, thin hair, medium porosity, how should my hair type fucking do products in the order of which products and how many products should I be doing, you know, after showering is what I'm looking into, because I was previously reading that medium porosity hair responds better to liquid oil cream because our hair can lose moisture easier, like high porosity. But then I was also reading that fine thin hair can respond better to liquid cream oil because we don't have that inner layer, and so our hair can get weighed down whenever we are putting the cream on top of the oil, because the oil can seal out that cream and make it harder to penetrate our hair shaft. And so that's why I believe that like liquid oil cream is better for my hair type or whatever. But then I was also like, if I am going to be using that many products, that is the order I would still put them in. That's not going to change for me for now, I think. But what I do want to test is how much product am I putting in. Like almost every wash I have been doing a liquid, an oil, and a cream. Do I always need that? You know what I'm saying? Why am I always doing that particularly? And I think that's what I'm gonna test next, like just doing a leave-in, whether or not it's a liquid or a cream. Um, just doing an oil, just doing a leave-in and an oil, like a water and an oil, and doing, doing some cream every now and then, but not necessarily always doing cream or always doing oil, because I think doing too much of those for my hair type might be what might be weighing it down. This roller, I didn't get the ends in right, so, but whatever, I don't feel like undoing it. Anyway, fucking, but I feel like I'm doing too many products on my hair all the time, which is ultimately weighing it down and causing product buildup, particularly when I want to go more days without washing. And when I brush my hair, I already do feel like it is better for my hair with reducing mechanical damage to use a product whenever I'm brushing my hair, which I do like to do twice a day because I feel like my hair responds better and I don't get as many tangles when I do that. So, I'm basically at a point where I'm gonna try, like less products and just seeing, like, after my initial wash to see if that helps overall, if I can help it. And I'm not gonna roll it out completely though, because I am still gonna do it every now and then, particularly like whenever I was in the office 8 to 5, I would have a harder time washing my hair every single day. So I do think if I know I'm going to go 2 or 3 days without washing my hair, or 3 or 4 days without washing my hair, that doing a liquid cream oil situation will help my hair retain moisture but by that 3rd and 4th day. But if I know I'm going to wash my hair every other day, then, and I know like I'm working from home for now and whatever, and I can control my life a bit more, I feel like maybe I could just do less. Like, I don't need to worry about retaining the moisture for as long because I'm going to wash my hair again anyway. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with, like, how I'm testing my shit. Yeah. Fucking, oh yeah, you did. I just realized I was talking about the causes of my hair loss, but I don't think I talked about what I did to group that. That's my bad, y'all. And also, speaking of causes, I feel like one department I lucked out in is not necessarily knowing how to do my hair. Like, yeah, I did do JROTC hairstyle buns and shit back in the day, but even then, I would always keep my bang, like the top portion of my hair from my bangs and a little bit behind my bangs, a good few, an inch or two of my hair. I would pull that forward. I would slick back the back half of my hair, and then I would side part that front section and slick it to the sides. And that would kind of, I feel like when people do slick backs and they experience a lot of hair loss on their hair part line, that's a way you can get a slick back and not have to worry about that, doing it like that. But then you still have to worry about thinness wherever you part your hair. But by changing it up over time, this thing just popped off, which is annoying for me. You could reduce certain issues, I think. Damn, I don't want to unroll this. I hate when this shit happens. Okay. I might curse. Fuck that shit. Oh, hell yeah, I got it back on. Okay. And then I got like this much hair and 5 big rollers and 3 little ones. I think I'll do a couple more of these little ones to the front and then finish the rest with the back. I try to keep the smaller rolls for like my face framing pieces. Fuck. And then the bigger rolls I'm using to give me volume overall or whatever, if that makes sense. But then I kind of didn't really plan this part right, so, but whatever, it'll probably be fine. . And then I'm going to try to remember to film the takedown of this later. Dude, yeah. Part of why I think I have ADHD is I keep saying I'm gonna talk about my hair growth, and then I keep getting distracted by other topics, and then I keep being like, oh yeah, about hair. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I should change the title of this video. I mean, I showed you guys my balding ass head. But anyway, so I definitely still have a lot of thinness, but I have like a whole routine. Let's go back to sharing my screen. So I document everything I do, and I leave notes, and I've got everything documented for like the past year or so. Whenever I do, you know, I've gone a couple of phases without documenting my hair growth, but anytime I'm documenting my hair growth, you know, it's in here. And different routines available to me are in here. Notes from stylists that I've been able to talk with about my routines are in here. And things like that. And I'm starting to realize also, like, what advice that has been given to me can be good for different things, you know? Because, for example, where my regular hairstylist is telling me to just stick with water-based products, don't do too much. And I was like, okay. And I think she's right, though, because when I do just do that, my hair does perform better that in the moment, that day to day, you know? Um, and then I'm also glad I did try the routines from my research, though, because I am learning how to manage my hair for other styles. Like, if I want to keep my hair curly for a couple of days, I can manage, if I manage it the way that my friend with curly hair told me to do, then I can keep I've actually learned how to keep my hair, um, you know, do one style and keep it for a day or two. I used to not be able to do that. I would just wash it out the same day or some shit. You know, or the next day because I wouldn't know how to preserve it overnight. For example, shit like that. So that helps me too because, you know, if I wanted my hair to look good 2 days in a row, now I know how to do that. But yeah, um, I think if you can't go, like going to some sort of doctor, trichologist person, whatever the fuck they're called, you know, is probably the most important thing for people who can't have the privilege of being able to do so. If you can do that, if not, the second thing is a hairstylist. You know, my hairstylist is the one who started identifying where I was balding, because she likes to cut my hair from a middle part even when I like to wear it to the side, and she's the one who convinced me to start switching up my hair parts and to, you know, started pointing it out that, you know, like my hair is thinning, I need to switch it up. So I think, you know, having like making sure you are having other people look into like your situation. I know a lot of people, they'll only do their own hair themselves. They don't want other people even touching it. But I think everybody does need to find someone that they can trust to do their hair for them and to help them identify when they are having issues. Um, Whenever I know I'm stressed, like sometimes, you know, you get stressed into a moment and it's too late, you're already stressed and you've already started pulling out your hair, just like whatever. I just try to, whenever I realize I'm doing it, I just try to get my hair up. But if I know I'm stressed and I haven't even started pulling out my hair yet, I just know I'm starting to feel stressed, I will go ahead and put my hair up into braids or a bun or some shit. I find that that helps me. One thing I need to work on though is like, even when I'm not stressed, I'm still pulling through my hair a lot and fiddling with my hair a lot out of like a fidgeting way. And I need to work on that, like figure out something to do because I want to wear my hair down too. Like, I do try to keep my hair up to a point when I know I'm experiencing these issues, but on another level, I struggle with like feeling overstimulated, and I just, you know what I mean. Also, guys, I have all of my products that I use, all of the sources for everything that I've read on hair care, and all of the tools and products that I use are in this hair spreadsheet. And so it's 378 links, or 377 links in here. And yeah, fucking, and it's all focused on my hair type for the most part, because I'm researching to learn how to take care of my own shit. But I also put everything into categories, and it's not just my hair type. It's about I feel like anybody can get things from any hair type in here, because there's something relevant to everybody. But yeah, fucking, I think documenting what you learn. I've also watched a shit ton of videos, but this is more focused on the articles. If I logged all the videos too, that would be way too much to keep up with. But that, and I've been logging all of the products that I've been testing or trying in my hair over the years. And I need to not be a product junkie anymore. But I am really glad that I did this and tried it, and now do have an understanding of what works in my hair and why and how. So I'm just going to use up products that I got, and then going forward, I know what I want to get going forward. And which is funny to me, because I tried all of these things only to, at the end of the day, want to go back to what I was doing in high school, which is Tresemme. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also, like, I love, like, all of these products for the most part, you know, that I've been using for different reasons. It's just about understanding what they do to my hair and why and how, in order to understand what to do in the future. So, yeah. So that's my main thing, processing and documenting. Like, having that hair spreadsheet is really helpful for me, and getting down a hair routine, and then learning to protect my hair, like, at night and all of that. I think all of that is really helpful for me. Okay, besides this one right here, where I know I didn't get these ends in there right, I was like, I saw that, and I told you guys to ignore it. For the most part, you know, I have some of my shorter layers on the bottom, didn't get rolled up, but fuck it. But other than that, you know, we basically got my hair all rolled up here. So I'm going to try to remember to document the takedown process. If I don't do a live stream for it, I will try to remember to video it for you guys, and then upload that later, so that way you get the full shebang before and after. So I just did a little bit of mousse in all of my hair before I rolled it up. And now I'm going to just do a little light spray with this Tresemme shit. Did I say light spray, and then I just kind of dump like a quarter of the bottle? Close enough. Fuck it. Alright, then do a little spray down there. And then eventually, I'm going to take this down. I'm going to just keep this up until it annoys me, and then I'm going to take it down. And I might go do another live stream with you guys, or some shit when I do that. Okay, so before I do that, though, let me actually think about my hair loss journey, so I can share that with you guys real quick. So whenever I realized, like, I was at the hair salon, my stylist Amanda was basically like, she had washed my hair. I had been keeping my hair in the same fucking side part for over a decade, you know what I'm saying? And she always put my hair in a middle part to cut it, no matter what, though. Because that's just how she liked to cut my hair. I don't know, but I don't know enough about hair cutting to understand why, but that's just what she did. So fucking, when she did, though, she was like, she was showing me with the mirror and explaining to me, like, and like, you've got a bald spot, like, you know, you are experiencing severe thinning from, you know, having this side part. You really gotta start switching up your parts, is what she was telling me. And I was losing my fucking shit, because, like, for my hair to be that bald, and this was spring 2023, at the time I'm 31 now, I'll be 32 in December, you know, and so I was like 29, at the time, I think, and I was like, I am way too young to be losing my hair like this. Like, I was really freaking out because I was still technically in my 20s at that point, and I was really, really, really freaking out. Um, you know, like, what woman in their late 20s, early 30s wants to be balding, you know? And so, uh, it was something I was extremely insecure about. And whenever the first few times I was doing my middle part, from then on, like I started that month with my middle part, and then every single month I switch up my part from now on. Like it's dun 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 dun, you know, um, I was really freaking out. It really looked like to me someone just took a razor and just down my fucking middle. I was losing my fucking shit. Like, yeah. And so that's when the hair spreadsheet began, and I started doing all of this research on hair growth, and I just kind of became really obsessed with, wanting to grow my hair back. And from there on, I was really obsessed. Like, I wouldn't let my hair touch a pillow without it being covered and up and all of that. Now I'm a little bit more flexible with that. Like, I will lay down on a pillow as long as my hair is up. If it's not covered, like, whatever, fuck it, as long as it's up. But I don't, I am still very weird in particular about my hair because of the balding. Like, I don't want to lose any of my progress that I've worked so hard for. But I do believe that beginning to switch up my parts each month is the main factor in growing my hair back, because I believe that was the main reason I was experiencing so much hair loss. And so, fuck whatever trend is trending, with the generations for what part your hair should be. Fucking switch it up all the time, because because if you keep your hair parted the same way too long, you're gonna go bald like I did, I think, is my concern. So yeah. But that, and then managing my mental health and stressors and being able to try and distract myself, I think those two things helped me a lot with being able to grow back my hair, because I was luckily, like, there's a certain level of which I cannot remove myself from certain situations that I feel contribute to my hair loss, but on another level, there are things that I am able to remove myself from, and I have done so. So if you can remove yourself from anything, do that. If you are going bald, like, that is a sign. That's a physical sign that something is wrong with your environment and you need to change it. You know what I mean? So that, and then just learning how to be very gentle with it, in terms of proper brushing techniques. I think that also helped, because before my hair loss journey, I had never learned how to properly brush my hair. So I was also pulling out a bunch of my hair with mechanical damage in the brushing process. And all of these things combined, I feel, and I think what not enough people talk about is how long it takes for your hair to grow back from hair loss. So it has taken me 2 to 3 years to see enough progress to where now I'm no longer insecure about that hair loss, because it's 2 to 3 years later and I'm like, look how much has grown back. You can't make me feel bad about shit, because even though I know how bad it looked, I've seen how far it's come, and I know I'm hoping I can keep it going, like, I know that I'm at least going to be able to keep it here for now, I think, and I'm hoping it can get better, because I know what I did wrong from the past, and that's what my entire documentation with my hair playlist is all about, is just kind of documenting what I learned along the way to help me retain my length and grow my hair and learn how to style it and everything that makes me happy with my hair. That way, if anybody, just going through anything I've been going through, hopefully this is one of those things where it's like, you can learn from my balding ass, so you don't have to go bald if you haven't gone bald already. Or if you are currently, feeling stressed about your own hair loss, I apologize if my rough way of speaking about it influences you at all, because I don't mean it to. It's how I get through my own balding. I don't mean to put that on you, but Yeah, so if you are also experiencing hair loss, I'm hoping that my playlist can help you when it comes to growing back your hair too. Um, for me, I think finding the routine for your hair texture type, and I know to a point that the curl typing system doesn't mean shit because it's arbitrary, blah blah blah, used to sell products or some shit like that. But to another point, I do think under our current system, with understanding the different structures, because the way that your hair is structured, whether it's straighter or curlier or coilier, can influence how products are going to react to your hair and how rather how your hair will react to products, and how you are going to retain a look over time as well, and stuff like that. So, for example, like if you have a higher porosity hair, for example, but and it's also porosity can matter too, because if you have a lower or higher porosity hair, if you have a lower porosity hair, you probably need oil last. But if you have a higher porosity hair, you probably need cream last, for example, right? But then if you have a medium porosity hair and you have like wavy hair, like me, our hair can behave either like it's low or high porosity. For example, and if your hair is curly or coily and you straighten it, it can behave a lot like straighter hair. But there are exceptions, because if you put liquid on a coily texture when it's straightened, it could revert, right? And so in that case, you need a cream where I would use a liquid. So in that situation, whether or not you have curly or straight hair does influence which product you want to put on it, because if you want your hair to look a certain way, what product you put on which hair is going to change how that looks. Um, so yeah, understanding your texture. And I think even though the curl typing chart is arbitrary and bullshit for a lot of valid reasons, for other reasons, such as what I just went on a spiral about, it's also a good way to find people that have the same pattern as, or a similar one as yours, to have a better place to start off from when it comes to guessing which products could work for you. So that, and then porosity matters, of course, because that will determine how your hair absorbs the product. And then, your density can influence also not only how your hair absorbs the product, but also how much of the product you want to use. And then, and then what are the coarseness or the texture of your hair strand, the individual strands as well. Obviously, that influences which product because of the weight of it as well as how much. And it can also influence how your hair absorbs products, because that can control how many layers your hair has as well, for example, and things of that nature. So, the more you understand your hair, the better you're going to be able to take care of it. The better you take care of your hair, the less hair loss you're going to experience, because the better you're going to retain your length. But at the same time, that also has to go back to your scalp care as well, because you can have the same porosity, density, texture, thickness, and all of that as somebody else. But if you have dry skin and they have oily skin, your hair could respond entirely differently to shampoos and conditioners, and what oils you may or may not want to use in your head, if any, and shit like that, So every single person, we all have our own ways. And so for a lot of people, a good baseline as well can be looking at your family and how they respond to products. But then if you're like me, my father is indigenous, my mother is white. My mother has her natural hair before she hit menopause was curly like 3A. And my dad had 2A hair. And I ended up with 2A hair. And my mom, though, after she hit menopause, somehow her hair is like more 2A. It just lost its curl. It just, I don't, which I think is interesting, right? Isn't it interesting how your curl type can change based on your hormones and after you hit menopause, but your curl type is determined by your follicle shape, but your follicle shape doesn't change. I don't know. I need to do more research on that, but that fascinates me. Anyway, so fucking but back in my mom though naturally had like my whole life very curly hair, like boingy boingy curly hair, you know, and that's just what it was. Like you take her to a water park, put her hair in the water, it comes back out, it's gonna dry curly. But me, my hair has always been loose waves. And so my mom didn't know how to take care of my hair because you do not treat 3A curly hair the same way you're going to treat 2A curly hair. So I actually have the same density as my mother. I get my low density from her. My dad had a higher density hair. But I have my dad's hair texture. And, so it's like, my mom, she's used to detangling her hair like in the shower on wash days only. And if you do that, like with 2A hair, if you take 2A hair that's too tangled and you don't detangle it before you get into the shower to wash it, you're going to wet a knot. Hey Augusto, I just saw this. Fucking Augusto said that he was just stopping by from work, but hey, hope I'm having a good day and have a funny hairstyle. Yeah, I just put my hair in curlers. I'm gonna try to remember to show the takedown process on here. But I got my hair rolled up. We're gonna see how it looks later. Thank you, Augusto, for stopping by at work. I hope you're having a good day too. I appreciate you. Fucking yeah, man. I was just saying that like my mom, she would be trying to like detangle my hair in the shower without detangling it by brushing it. She would just be trying to take a knot, put it in water, wash it, and then dry it, and then try to detangle it, right? But it's like have you ever tied a knot in a shoestring and then when it's wet, tie the knot, let it dry, and then try to untangle it, and it's way harder to get, and then you have to moisturize it, you have to get it wet again to get it loose so you can untangle it, right? So my mom didn't know that, so she would be drying knots into her hair and then trying to dry brush them out with no product. So she was just ripping her hair out, you know what I mean? And that's what I learned to do and how I treated my hair until I learned different because I didn't know any different, you know what I mean? And so I think for a lot of people, when we grow up in environments where people weren't taking care of us or we didn't really know how to take care of ourselves, and then when you're just trying to get out of high school and you're just trying to make it, you know what I mean? Especially if you decide to go to college and you're going to college and you're working full time, there may not always be that extra hours in a day for you to go learn different. And so you're still doing and repeating what you kept doing before because that's all you knew, right? And so I used to not brush my hair twice a day. I might brush my hair once a day or so, but I didn't know that you're supposed to brush your hair before the shower and not after shower, you know, and I didn't know to use detangler and to use products in your hair and not to brush it completely dry. Things like that. Like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? So for everybody, you know, everybody has different ways that you need to treat your hair and learn how to do your hair. But whenever you notice hair loss, I think besides trying to identify the cause of the issue, you know, which if you can get help from a professional, please do so. But if you can't, you know, just do the best you can with the research you got online to identify what your issue is. And then from there, once you identify the issue, you're like, okay, well, let's stop doing that thing then whatever the issue it is that's causing it, because part of it's going to be related to your history. And yeah. And then also, if you want to think about identifying breakage and hair loss before it comes to hair loss, you know, before your hair is actually thinning, if you notice any points of breakage, you know, start paying attention to like, am I wearing a ponytail there all the time and now there's a bunch of breakage? Maybe I should stop wearing a ponytail there type thing. So thinking about things like that, because to a certain point, your hair is always going to have new growth and layers all over, because our hair is evenly growing in layers at different rates on our head, so you're never bald. But on another level, if you're noticing patches of that, then that's where it's typically an indicator of a lot of breakage. So watch out for that. Paying attention to those types of things is how you can manage your hair loss. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this bitch up. Fucking today has been a bit of a ramble, but basically we did my hair together, put my hair up in some rollers, and again, the products I used for that is this Tresemme Flawless Curls Mousse today. I did that first, and then I did some Tress 2 Spray Extra Hold bullshit hairspray, whatever the fuck this shit is. So we did those two things up in there with my soft foam rollers. Yippee. And yeah, so we did my hair today. I rambled at the beginning about how I tried to straighten my hair for the first time in over a decade yesterday, but I forgot to document that. So next time I will try to document that. But I probably won't do heat besides blow drying on my hair for a minute, because I don't want to do that more than like twice a month. So yeah, fucking, so I did that. I showed you guys a picture of my balding ass head, and we've talked a good bit about me balding. We've talked about mental health. I do believe that is connected and tied to it. We've talked about my trickle mania. We've talked about my traction alopecia. I didn't change my hair part. And so I think that was the biggest contributing factor to why I have all of the thinness where it is now, from not changing my part, from where the hair laid for over a decade. So yeah, to every person, I do recommend changing your hair part every single month. Yeah, so for me, that was the biggest issue. And then documenting everything. I've shown you guys, and I've linked to it. My hair spreadsheet is linked in the description of my videos. And this hair journaling and my hair spreadsheet is literally what has, helped me process how to take care of my hair and what is working for my hair, so I know what to do and what not to do going forward. And fucking, if that spreadsheet is ever no longer available, because it's in my Google Drive, and if something ever happens to me and I can't pay for my Google Drive, that link is no longer going to exist. So if that link ever no longer exists, then it's because I couldn't pay for my Google Drive. But as long as that, if I die or some shit, I don't know. But as long as all that's there, that link should work, and y'all should be able to access that. I may not keep documenting this. I don't really know how long I'm going to document my shit for, but I think it's a good tool if you are ever struggling with hair loss or any sort of hair issue or hair allergy issue, to document your journey in some situation like I did, to help you process it and to do better and all of that. So yeah, I'm going to wrap up, go live my life for a bit, and then I'll try to remember to document the takedown later. And as I process all of this better, I will try to do a shorter, better video on preventing hair loss and what to do if you have hair loss, or what I did because of my hair loss, rather. I'll try to do a better, shorter video that's not so rambly one day. But we're here now. So yeah, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you. Thank you, Augusto, for stopping by at work. I hope you have a great day at work. I'm going to try to do another live stream later, if not today, probably tomorrow. If I don't do another live stream today, though, I'll still try to remember to videotape me taking this shit down and post that. Okie dokie. Thanks for joining me. I hope everything works out, and bye. Thanks for watching. Join the loyalty program at noladeafchild.com/loyalty, and check in during live streams to get points for rewards.